have learned that when they feel really lousy, they call me and I say hello, and they say, hello, is Mama there? and she would just dump. And my wife is wonderfully patient and loving. She's an incredible mother. And she would listen. And then she would, hear me, your mama, your daddy, your spouse will lay awake at night worrying about you. When you got to feeling better and went to Starbucks with all your buds and you're having a big time, they're still back at the house worried about you. So, share the bad dump, this life stinks time, let them do that. But the swap out is, those of you that are suffering from this, when you're feeling good, you have no idea how much it'll mean to your caregivers if you'll just say, you know what, I'm having a good day. That'll carry us a long time if you'll just let us know. And we're going to be there for you either way. But it's a whole lot funner being there with you when we get a few strokes back too, okay? That's a whole idea of encouragement. Let me talk about family. I have been in ministry 36 years. Started when I was 3. I started preaching ministry when I was 19. I've been doing that almost 35 years now. My wife is a secondary school counselor. So we both kind of work in the field of relating to families. A general word to you and family: all tension. And this has brought tension into your family structure. It has. So we didn't mean for it to. Don't matter. It did. All tension that comes into a family structure has a potential of doing one of two things. It will either give you a rallying point to draw closer to each other and to have a richer relationship, or it will begin to tear you apart from one another. Relationships do not remain static. They move and change. Period. Healthy relationships between a parent and a child change because from the time our kids were born, we were raising them not to be good kids, but to be independent, responsible adults. And so it was the idea that we were raising them to spin them off, to be their own family, to be their own thing out there. It was always changing. Kathy and I both deal with families in crisis. Stress will draw you or it'll push you, but it will not leave you the same. If you're a caregiver and family, and caregiver, I don't really like that term. Kind of a fellow journeyman is probably a better term. If you're that caregiving person, you're the healthier in the relationship, I'd really challenge you to kind of consciously find a time for you and your spouse, or you and your siblings, or whoever it is that's your support group. That y'all have just some you time. The back booth at the Schlotsky's in Terrell on Wednesday night for about a year was our spot. We had 2 teenage daughters at home. We, for some stupid reason, took in a Brazilian exchange student. Rachel was having pots, and 3 teenage girls in anybody's house is...
I think it was Daniel's first year in college.
Wait a minute, there's not too many of us guys here. Maybe I'll back off on that. But we would go. I led a Bible study at 6:30 on Wednesday nights. Our teenagers had a separate Bible study, and their guy, he talked longer than me, so Kathy and I could sneak off. We could go to Schlotsky's, we could split a sandwich and get a glass of tea, and just breathe before we went back. If you're a caregiver, you need that. You need a support group. I'm tickled about this group here. You're right. There wasn't any of this when we were there, when we were in our first year or two along this journey. And I commend y'all for drawing together. You'll get a whole lot more good from each other than you will from me, or you'll probably have some doctors. You'll have different people come and talk to you, but your relationships with each other will be the richest thing you get out of this. But but you're a family. You know, whatever your family looks like, you're a family. And your child or spouse or whoever it is who's dealing with this condition is one cog in that family. And they need to understand that. You need to understand that. And there are times and seasons they may need more attention than other members of that family. But there are other members of that family that have needs of your time and your strength and your energy. And if you're a patient, you need to understand that. And if you're a caregiver, you need to remember that. You need the family today, and you need it tomorrow, and you need it 10 years and 20 years from now. So that would be kind of my encouragement to you in that area. And then just find good things to celebrate together. It's just part of my philosophy of life, and it's free for driving out here, okay? And I promise you, you will get enough value from what I tell you that'll be worth what you paid at the door when you came in. Far too often, people, churches, organizations, families, schools, groups of people and individuals, far too often miss the opportunities to celebrate the journey on the way. And you'll have some great big victories, and you'll have some little bitty victories, and just find a reason to celebrate the victories. You'll have some time to cry every once in a while. Hey, we all do that. You'll have worries and frets. You'll have some evenings where you kind of wrestle around and wonder. Those of you who have a POTS patient or an autonomic needs patient that's in your home as a high school, junior high student right now, well, they go off to college. And they really do survive. I'm not sure how, but real honestly, I'm not sure I want to know how. But find you some little things to celebrate. You know, there was a time when we celebrated completing cross-country events and, you know, winning t-shirts and doing all that kind of stuff, and we celebrated those. Now we celebrate other things. We still have a lot of stuff that we celebrate. We celebrate getting to go to the country. We celebrate going to First Monday Trade Day in Canton, Texas. Be sure to send a copy of that to the Chamber of Commerce. Maybe they'll pay my gas. You know, we find things to celebrate because, you know, there's enough of those tough days. And we're all going to have those. That's part of this journey. You know, not one of y'all voted to take this journey. And there are going to be some tough days on this journey. But there are going to be some things you can celebrate. You just got to watch for them. And you may have to be more creative looking for them. And when I say celebrate, I don't mean call all the company in and blow up balloons and bake cake. I mean, hey, that sounds great. Whoop into Dairy Queen and get a blizzard, or just go for a long walk and laugh about it, or set up a table at the house and do something around it as a family. Find some reason to celebrate the little victories that you have. And you'll have them. And if you're having a real bad week, been there, done that. Better days are coming. Then after that, there'll be some worse days. I mean, that's probably going to be your experience, because that's been our experience. It's kind of the roller coaster, up and down, you know. But you know what? When you're up here, celebrate the little bit of mountaintop, and then hold hands and love each other in the valley, and then celebrate again. Hey, that's kind of where we've been. I've been very blessed to have had to go through this journey, to have had a patient in my family who was willing to take control for her own disease, keep us in the loop. We were advocates when we needed to be, but she probably matured ahead of her time, which I think we would consider a benefit